Hello, once again, sports fans. It is I, Havokpus, and this is another episode of Bodied, a Cloud9 fan cast. As always, I'm here with Frozencreek, my lovely co-host. How's it going?
Hello. I'm just trying to enjoy weather that I thought was going to be nice, but it has not been nice.
Oh, that sucks.
I'm just trying to get my esports certification too.
Oh, you're getting your cert? You're going for it?
I'm still not quite sure what it is or how I get it, but I'm going for it.
That's you and everyone else. That's literally, I think everyone, I think half the people are just confused on why that's a thing.
Yeah,
and I think the other half is like, why would you pay $350 for this?
Oh, that's it?
It was like a lot of money. I think it's like you pay I think it's maybe like you pay $300-$400 to take some classes. And then at the end of the classes, you get like a certification saying that like, yeah, you can do esports stuff and you're qualified to work in esports. It seems like pretty pointless.
It does, but I missed out on the hype around it, so I have no clue what anyone is talking about. But as of now, neither of us are esports is certified, so you're free to turn off this podcast now.
Yeah, unfortunately, we do not have the qualifications to be legit, but we're gonna push on anyway. And we got some really interesting news that happened yesterday, and I didn't see this coming at all. We signed an Apex Legends team again, Frozen.
Yeah, can you give me the lowdown? I saw a highlight of the news, but I don't know anything about it.
I don't know anything about them either because I don't know anything about Apex Legends. But we have
Fair.
signed Nude, and that's spelled Knood. Naughty, or Stay Naughty.
Interesting.
His Twitter handle
Line up here.
is that's what he goes by. And Zach Mazer, all one word. So that is our three Apex players. It's kind of interesting. Like I have seen like sort of an uptick in popularity of Apex recently. I've seen like a lot more people on like Reddit and everything sort of posting about it. So it could be that, I think I also read that maybe like the devs over at Apex were like trying really hard to like improve the game, and make it a lot better. So it's interesting to see kind of go down.
Well, good. I didn't have much of an Apex itch to scratch, but I'm glad I will now be able to get it scratched.
Yeah, it's a really interesting thing just because I haven't seen a lot of battle royale stuff kind of go on recently. I'm not sure if Apex has like some plan to like do more esports stuff. I'm not sure if maybe this is just these guys are pulling in like really good streamer numbers, and you want to kind of get, since Apex is maybe getting more like traffic, you want to see that more. I don't know, but yeah, it's really interesting. I'm curious to see like what will come about of this, just because it's I think Apex is an interesting game, mostly just because aesthetically it's very neat to look at. And I think there is also, it does some things that are, that kind of set it apart from other battle royales to make it at least semi-interesting to watch. Like I watched some of Zach Mazer's stream, and it looks fun to play. I downloaded it on my computer, so I can try it out sometime soon. But yeah.
It is a fun game. I haven't played it in a while though.
Yeah, I can imagine like a lot has changed since I last tried it out like for a day.
Same, but I'm not a huge battle royale or FPS guy like playing, so
yeah, I'm not a big
it's different.
I'm not a big battle royale player either. It's really hard for me just because my hearing is messed up, so I can't really like pinpoint where something's coming from. I'll just hear people shooting, and I'll just go like, someone's shooting somewhere. Hopefully it's not anywhere near me. And I'll just kind of I'll just kind of go about my business. It's probably more fun with people, but yeah.
Yeah.
I want to kind of get into it because it does look fun to play. And like I said, I do like sort of the visual aesthetic of it, but we'll have to see where it goes. If they're playing any events, I'll try and watch it just to kind of see how they do. But that's kind of it. I do have some WoW stuff. WoW was playing in the AWC Shadowlands Grand Finals. It went to a full 7 games, Frozen. It was a barn burner. I was kind of dipping in and out. And it was literally like, I think we were playing against Method, and Method would win one, then we would win one, Method would win one, they would win one. And it would go back and forth, right? And went to game 7, and that's where we lost. But I think second place is still pretty good. That's about where we should be, right? First, second. Ideally we should. I'd like us to win the championship, but those final games, like those game 7s, it can just be really tough, especially when you've been playing all day. Like they had to play Method in the semifinals, then they had to go down to the lower bracket to play against the team, and then they had to play them again. So it's really tough.
Yeah, that's a lot of gaming in one day. That game 7, it lasted a really long time, so I cannot imagine how it felt at that point.
Like having to mitigate the dampening at past a certain point just seems impossible, because you're burning through mana so quickly, so you can't use your spells as often, and then your health's starting to get low, so you can't really heal back up, and you don't also really get a lot of room to like actually eat food or like drink or whatever to like replenish your resources. So like once you're kind of down, you're just kind of down, and you're just hoping that the other team just makes a bigger mistake than you to like win. It's that kind of thing. So it's really tough, and especially with you when you're playing that long. I can only imagine like what their concentration must have been like, throughout that whole thing. But I think tip of the hat, they finished second, which I think is really good. It sucks that they didn't get first, especially after they were like 7-1, I think, in the regular season, or whatever you call it, for this circuit. So it kind of feels bad, but the WoW team is still good. I don't see why you would change anything. I mean, second place is still second place, right? And they've been performing historically. They just perform really well.
Yeah. I didn't watch this.
I was off and on.
Yeah, but speaking of long days, our VALORANT team is not going to have a long travel day after they lost 2 straight best of 3s.
Yeah, I'm really sad. To be fair, they did have to play against probably the number 1 and number 2 North American VALORANT teams, like back to back. So that's really hard. And I'm also sad just that we can't get any sick content of the VALORANT team meeting the League of Legends team. Because I was kind of hyped for that, right? I was kind of hyped to see Perks like meet Leaf or whatever, and them chill and do some stuff. That really sucks. But I think that we have to look at this as a glass half full situation rather than a glass half empty, which has honestly been the case for maybe like up until now, the past like month and a half to 2 months. We have been talking about how like, well, the VALORANT team's not looking really good, and we could probably need to make changes. But now we've been really trending in a really positive direction. We were able to finish top 4 in the past like 2 of these to qualify for the next stage. We finished 3rd in this in the VCT finals. I think that's a tremendous amount of growth, especially with Floppy only playing this game for such a short amount of time, and he's able to pick up Astra, which is kind of a hard agent to play, or at least like to pick up and learn. So I think at least we really have to give our Valorant team credit and, you know, give them some applause for just how much they've been able to turn around and really grow in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, they absolutely fought there at the end, and I feel like if this was their peak after like a month of practice, with Floppy, then I'm curious to see what they're going to be like in 6 months from now.
Yeah, I think that Floppy can. I feel like Floppy can only improve more and get better with time. And the team was looking really good with Floppy. We seemed less chaotic. We looked more methodical. Zeta, man, Zeta was just playing his heart out on things like Sova and Breach. And Mitch was. It looked like he was a man on a mission. With how insane, especially since he's like a support player, right? He plays like the Sentinels, he plays like Cypher and Sage. That's not a frag heavy, role, but he's just dropping people left and right and getting all these like triple kills and whatnot and clutch kills. You'd think like he was gonna be out of a job or something, but like his calls have been good. Mitch has looked really, really good. I don't see why. We have like a 6-man roster kind of at the moment. I don't see why he would be the one to maybe go. If anything, this just makes the argument that you need Mitch on the team, because Mitch, once he's after that weird period where he was kind of struggling, in the Tens and Friends era, he was looking really good. And it seems like he's back to form, and Mitch back on his form looks amazing.
Oh yeah, he was really strong these past couple weeks, and Zeta looked exactly like the man that we need post tens. So
yes,
super hyped for that. I'm curious to see what Zeppa's going to do.
I believe Zeppa might be playing in our next event. I think I heard some chatter saying that Zeppa is going to try and be in the next event or whatever next match we play in. I think he's going to swap out with Poise, because I think
that makes
that
sense.
I think that with how our roster is, Zeppa is going to be the duelist. Like, Leaf is a duelist already. Second duelist would probably be Zeppa. Floppy's going to stay on sort of the vision control kind of smokes like Omen and Astra, because he's playing really good with them. He looks really good and really comfortable with Omen and Astra. Astra especially. I think one of the things that kind of hurt us this event was that we weren't able to pick up Viper, and Viper's really strong on a couple of maps like Split and Icebox. You see her played a lot on, and we weren't able to play Viper, and I think some teams have been playing Phoenix where we haven't really been playing Phoenix. So I think just some tiny gaps in agent pools, but. If Floppy can learn Viper and get a hold of her, as well as, I really want to see how Zeppa slots in replace with Poise as sort of the second duelist, in that kind of like entry fragger type role. So it'll be really interesting if Zeppa can look even better, which some people are saying that he probably can, considering he looked really, really good on the CSGO team. I remember he was one of the few bright spots on that roster. We could have a really serious roster on our hands. I think that with how we played in the past few weeks, I would say that we should at least be moved up to around top 5 in the rankings. I can check really quick just to see where we are, because I'm just curious, North America wise. Okay, we moved up 1 from 9th to 8th, so we are 8th place.
It's something.
Which I think these may shake around a little bit more. Envy is still at number 2, which I don't think that should happen, considering we beat them twice. I'm not sure about Exit and Immortals and NRG. Like, we've beaten a bunch of these other teams. The top like 10, top 11 is in a really weird spot. I feel like we should be higher than 8. Like we should probably be lower than we should definitely be lower than Sentinels, lower than version 1. Probably lower than 100 Thieves, since 100 Thieves is really good, but I think we should at least be around like 5 or 6. I kind of disagree with being 8th, but that whole area is kind of like it may be like splitting hairs in terms of like who is better than who at that point.
Oh yeah, and I'm not sure how those are factored. So like it could take into account some of our poor performances.
Yeah, it could
before
be.
Floppy came in too. So, but yeah, overall it just sucks that they didn't get to go to Iceland, because this was like or that their big tournament for at least this
Yeah.
half of the year. So
Yeah, it's a big bummer, but I am proud of this team. I stand with this team in this roster. You know, I want to see where we can go, because it looks like we're trending upward, and it looks like we can go in a really good direction if we continue to improve and continue to just get good results like this. So I'm all for it. I'm ready to see when we play next and what kind of goes on for us. But moving on, we have some more disappointment. London Spitfire does go 0-2 again, but there were some improvements. We did win some maps. We went a full 5 maps against Boston Uprising, which it was a really close best of 5.
Super hype and fun, yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. I'm really glad that we showed that we're not just gonna roll over and die, right? Like, we're gonna fight and we're gonna make things competitive. And I think one of the coaches for the Spitfire even said, this week we proved that we were competitive, but we don't want to be competitive, right? We want to win. We want to be successful. So it looks like they're figuring out sort of constantly like what needs to kind of happen, what to get better. The Toronto Defiant match was not as close, but we did take a map off of them, and it looks like we are, at least like sort of somewhat improving with each match. So hopefully, somewhere in there we can get a win.
Yeah, I feel like our best chance for a win was against Boston.
Yeah, it was definitely Boston.
But we did fight hard against them. It looks like Vancouver and whoever this is, Los Angeles, are also winless at this point. So
yeah, the LA Valiant
sure
is they changed their roster a bunch, and I think they're playing in the Asia region now, which is weird. But I don't think we don't play for in the next couple of weeks. I don't think, since they're doing that.
Yeah, I just saw that.
They're doing that May Melee thing. So.
Well, we'll play May 18th actually.
Oh, will we? Okay.
Against Florida.
No, it's the 21st against Florida.
Oh, sorry. The week of the 18th.
Yeah, we'll play against Florida Mayhem May 21st and
Atlanta Reign on May 23rd.
Yeah. So
who are probably both better than us at this point. Florida for sure. Atlanta, possibly they're 1-3.
Well, who knows? But I think the couple of weeks it'll give us some time to kind of figure out, maybe what what we need to do to kind of improve and at least take a win. I don't want to see us go winless for the year, but we'll have to see. I'm pulling for the guys, and I'm hoping that they can show some of their stuff when they get back to it. But I don't have a lot on Overwatch League actually, Rose.
Yeah, I think it's time we take a trip over to Iceland for our first ever MSI episode.
Yes, I'm so excited.
After a year wait, we finally get to talk MSI.
I believe this is the first, I think historically, at least for MSI, this is Cloud9's first MSI ever. Usually we don't go to MSI. Usually we just go to Worlds. This is going to be our first spring international event. So I'm kind of excited just from that standpoint, is that this is this is a smaller tournament than we're kind of used to, in that there's not going to be as many teams, but it's still sort of an international level event. But I'm excited that we're here. We got snuffed last year because there was a plague going on, and people are still kind of trying to deal with it and figure out what to do.
Which is still going on.
Which is still kind of going on, but it's manageable now. But I'm excited to see us take on our group. Our group is really interesting too.
We got a fun group.
Yeah, we got Damwon, Gillette Infinity, and Detonation Focus Me. That's pretty fun. That's a pretty
Yeah, so Japan
group.
and inland America.
One thing I did notice that if you go, and this is more of a cute detail, but if you go look at the schedule for Thursday, all of the angular logo in our group, at least the angular logos are fighting the rounded logos.
Oh yeah.
Because Damon's kind of angular, and Gillette Infinity has a very similar sort of pointy, kind of angular logo, and then ours and Detonation Focus Beads is rounded. So it's
and the corporate sponsored teams are taking on the
more
teams.
Independent. Yeah, that's really interesting. It's a really nice, healthy split there we got. But I'm excited. This is going to be a really fun event. I believe Viego and Gwen are disabled for this event.
Yes. Based on.
Yeah, because North America.
I've heard so far. Yeah.
Because North America, I think, with how our patches worked, we couldn't watch them. But I'm really excited. It's gonna be a fun event. I think for all the teams going. Except for Vietnam. I'm really sad that Vietnam couldn't go due to how their COVID restrictions work. Vietnam is always such a fun region to watch play internationally, and I'm really bummed that we can't get the Gigabyte Marines back for another event.
Yeah, I'm hoping we can get them to Worlds, because this is, if you count last year's MSI, this is the third event that they've had to sit out.
Yeah, that's a real
total.
shame.
So that sucks for them, but I think we got some pretty fun groups going on. Group A only has 3 teams, so they're playing
it's like a double round robin, I think, or like some weird thing.
Triple.
Oh yeah, right, triple round robin.
Yeah, triple round robin. We're playing a double round robin in groups B and C, and it was always going to be the team with North America was going to be like the group of death in a way.
Yeah.
But I feel like the groups got drawn where Group B is more like a group of death than Group C, because Group B has Turkey, EU, Brazil, and PCS, which is PSG Talon, who is actually a really good team. They finished above Rogue at Worlds last year, so that's going to be hype. But I guess we can talk about Group A really quick.
Yeah, we actually kick things off with our match. Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern. We're facing off against Damwon Kia.
Yeah.
That's going to be really hype.
Yeah. Reigning world champions and former... Or sorry, not former, but reigning world champions
versus the undefeated MSI Kings Cloud9. We've never lost a match at MSI Frozen. We are technically undefeated at MSI.
I think Damwon is too then.
Well, it should be a clash of titans.
Or yeah, so this isn't the exact Damwon that won Worlds last year. They lost their top laner, brought in Khan, who I'm sure many of you know from FPX. And
yeah, Khan's really good.
FPX, he played on SKT, and he rose up on Longzhu and King's Zone Dragon X. So he's been around a while. He's obviously no slouch, so he's going to be the big boss in the top lane. Showmaker, probably the best mid laner in the world right now in the mid lane. Canyon, probably the best jungler in the world right now. So we have a tough opening match against them.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. I am curious kind of see how they will sort of adapt to how we kind of play, because you know being from Korea, they're probably really used to the more like slow, kind of methodical play, and we really like to just pedal to the metal, just go like, look, we're gonna punch you and we're gonna fight you. We don't care if it makes sense or not to do so. We're gonna go for it, and we're gonna scrap, and if we win, it's probably gonna be really good for us. So
yeah,
it's going to be a really interesting, because it's it's really a clashing of two really distinct styles, at least like regionally. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how we measure up against Damwon. We're probably gonna lose. I'm trying to keep things into perspective, but I think that this is gonna be a really good event just because we can play against some different teams as well as just we can get some experience on how like other people play and then how we can maybe incorporate some of the more efficient ways to do things into our play style. So it's gonna be really fun. I'm really also excited to see how Mad kind of measures up against like PSG Talon, and then how the group stages stake out to see who goes through the bracket and who plays there. Because it'd be really awesome to play against like Mad or RNG or someone like that.
Beat Mad.
Yeah. To beat Mad would be amazing.
So I think what is interesting about the first game being Cloud9 versus Damwon is that do we know that Damwon is good, but it'll walk through Korea almost unchallenged. So like we know that Korea is good, but I guess we don't know how good.
Yeah.
At this point, so that'll be interesting to see. It also seems like Damwon is tilted from EU West solo queue too.
I mean, wouldn't everybody?
I've seen.
I mean, I've seen.
Probably fair.
I've seen some streams, and that server is like a hellscape. I don't know how anyone is able to get proper practice and play when you're dealing with some of the things that I've seen. And I've heard stories like people just give up. After like you die once, they're just like, all right, I give up. Fuck it, and then just the game's over.
I've been watching Midbeast. Shout out to him. And he's been watching a ton of solo queue games, and Damwon players have seen some shit. Showmaker got taunted by an Ivern one trick once.
Uh-huh.
Which was interesting. So that was cool. I think the most interesting thing about this matchup is that since Cloud9 and Damwon are in the same group, we didn't get a chance to scrim with them, I'm sure.
Yeah, I would imagine that you would want to hold your strats off. So it would probably be scrimming
RNG,
a lot of
G2,
probably anyone from like
PSG
probably
Talon.
just A and B. So I'm not sure how good those scrims are going.
Yeah, so I guess it'll come down to see who has a better read on the meta, but at the end of the day, I'm not sure we can really take too much from it if Damwon wins, or really if Cloud9 wins.
Yeah, even if we win, it could probably be just like they're gonna beat us the next time around, aren't they?
Yeah, so we open up the whole turn and on Thursday against Damwon at 9 a.m. And then we play Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time against Detonation Focus Me. They are the LJL, correct?
They're from the
reps.
Japanese league. Yeah.
So, their mid laner Arya is pretty interesting. I heard on the dive that he's like a prolific Seraphine player. So I was trying to find a game from him, and in game 4 of the LJL finals, he was playing Seraphine, and he at 15 minutes he had a 23 CS advantage, and he had 167 CS on
Jesus.
Seraphine. So
That's a lot.
And now Seraphine's kind of been nerfed out of mid lane, so I'm not sure if we're gonna see it this time around. But that'll be interesting. And then we play Gillette Infinity on Saturday at noon Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, I think the good thing about this MSI is that all of the matches are pretty much viewable, which is great. I know that I think the last, sometimes when they do events, especially if it's in like Asia, which they've done for the past few years, it's really hard to watch matches. Like you either have to stay up late or you have to go to bed early and then like wake up at like 2 or 3 in the morning. So
yeah,
I like that this is at least for me being in Central Time, it's like, okay, I'm definitely gonna be awake for these. I'm definitely gonna be able to watch these without like having to like mess anything up, which is good.
Yeah. I know that our world semifinals when we beat the Korean team, I'm blanking on their name right now. But
Oh, started with an A. Afrika. We
yes,
beat Afrika.
Afrika.
Yeah, yeah,
That happened at like 3 or 4 a.m.
yeah.
Eastern time, so I didn't get a chance to watch it live. But this first week is over Mother's Day weekend, so I am going to be seeing some mothers now that all of us are fully vaxxed. So it's going to be tough for me to watch them live, but I'm still excited to do it either way.
No, you can still watch them live.
Eh,
It's not that big of a
I want
holiday.
to, but we'll see. But then our big group stage run is going to be Tuesday, where we play at 9, noon, and 2 Eastern Standard Time. So I feel like the whole thing of this group is to just get second place, and we need to be Detonation, Focus Me, and Gillette Infinity to do that.
Yeah, I think that's an easy task, though. I think that's not hard. You know, I could see maybe us dropping a game just because we may not be like fully prepared. But I think that, especially with who we have on our roster, we should get second pretty easily and be able to get out of groups, so we can go on to the bracket stage. I feel like if we do lose out, that'd be pretty humiliating. But I don't think that should happen.
Yeah. In one kind of interesting thing that I was just thinking of. I'm not entirely sure who was on the roster for CLG in 2016, but Darshan was on that roster.
That is true. Yeah,
So
he was.
our sub has experience going far at MSI. Rainover has played at MSI, I believe.
I wouldn't be
And
surprised if he didn't.
I'm assuming he did on that Immortals team or Fnatic at one point in time.
No, it had to have been at Fnatic. That would make way more sense, because I don't think Immortals ever went to an international event. Oh wait, no, yes they did. There was that one year they went to Worlds and they had the gold jerseys.
Okay, so maybe not at MSI, but and also Perks is reigning champion still. So
That's true.
We do have possibly the most MSI experience at MSI right now, since Uzi is not on RNG and G2's not here. So maybe that's one thing to look out for. With Perks, it kind of gives us possibly a psychological edge. He's probably the second or third best mid laner here, depending on how you feel about RNG.
Yeah.
But looking into the schedule, if we can get out of our group on Tuesday, then we'll already be playing again on Friday.
Yeah, I think
which would be
that.
super hype.
Yeah, I'm all for watching us play more games. So hopefully, we're able to get out, and then we can really get into it. But I really don't have much else. I can't think of anything.
Do you want to talk about the meta really quick?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. So this patch is played on 11.9 without Gwen or Viego. Between the end of the NA playoffs patch, which was 11.6, I believe, in this, a lot of stuff has happened. Like Rumble got some big buffs, so I'm assuming he's going to get a decent amount of play in jungle and possibly mid lane. Morgana got jungle buffs, and she's super viable now. Possibly Diana jungle, but I don't know if we're gonna really see that much.
I did just watch a Tracking the Pros game where Blabber did play Diana jungle, actually.
or on mid stream, he was talking with Pabu from the OCE
Mm-hmm.
rep team, and he said that it's more of like a solo queue pick.
Ah, I see. Okay.
So I, I'm I'm not sure if we'll see it on stage, but I think the most hype thing is that Elisen is going to kind of be a triple flex.
Oh yeah, yeah, because you can play him in mid and top now.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what change it was, but that is going to be interesting to see. Perks was playing a ton of it before it kind of became like a really big thing to play, but Elisen's in almost every solo queue game I've seen on Midbeast stream.
Yeah, it should be fun. Lee Sin's always like a good champion, just in that he makes a lot of really flashy plays, and he's able to, make things really exciting. Especially in the early game, since he can actually like impact it really far. Like in the late game, not so much. Like in the late game, it's either like you find a way to kick somebody, or or that's it. Like your shield doesn't do a lot. You don't do that much. You don't do crazy amounts of damage. So, but it will be fun to see Lee Sin finally, instead of just watching like Udyr and Hecarim run around and just sort of run up at you really quickly.
Yeah, so Udyr and Hecarim are probably still playable, so I'm assuming that we'll still see them. The OCE guy said that Renekton is probably going to be like 100% pick ban, which I guess isn't.
I mean, it always kind of was this season so far, so
yeah,
not much has changed.
Not really that surprising. He can get flexed to mid 2, and it doesn't seem like there's a ton of control mages that are popping up in solo queues. So Silas is going to be big. Lee Sin, possibly a flex Kindred. So it'll be fun to see. I'm excited to see what Cloud9 pulls out in game 1. Lee Sin, I guess, has some huge counter picks, so I'm not sure what those are actually, because I don't play him, but maybe we'll see like a Kindred mid or a Lee Sin Morgana top jungle duo or something. So new things to look forward to.
Yeah, I'd really look forward to seeing some really crazy out there picks, just to like be a surprise. I remember that one year when we were at Worlds, Licorice did the he picked like Hecarim top lane into some matchup that he was pretty confident that he would win against, and he won that one, and no one was expecting it. So I'm kind of hoping for something like that.
Yeah, who was that against?
I can't remember.
Me neither.
Anyway.
Yeah, I guess not important.
Not
But
important.
yeah, I guess that is about it. Oh, how do you expect Cloud9 to do in groups?
I think we should at least get second. I would be shocked if we couldn't beat Detonation Focus Me or Infinite Gillette. So I'd say at least second. I don't know if we could maybe take a game off of down one, but I don't think it's super likely. But I'm hoping we can at least get into the bracket stage, and then after that, we'll see who we go up against and how we can really face off.
Yeah. Do you have like a final score then, like 4-2 beating all minor regions in losing to Damwon, or 5-1 or 3-3?
4-2. I guess maybe 4-3. I don't know. I'm not really good with those type of scores.
All right. 4-2 is beating Detonation Focus Me and Gillette Infinity both times in losing to Damwon. So I think that's pretty safe. 3-3 would get interesting, because then we'd go to a tiebreaker, I think.
Oh yeah, that'd be scary.
So let's hope that doesn't happen. But
yeah.
Tune in on Thursday.
Yes, Thursday. But until then, we thank you for listening. Make sure to follow us at C9Bodied on Twitter, and we'll see you next time.
Yep. Bye, guys.